Growing up in Lucas, Texas, Jennifer Lee never thought that she would travel halfway around the world to practice her profession. After completing her master's degree in speech-language pathology at Texas Woman's University and entering the workplace, Jennifer realized an opportunity to be a champion for children both at home and abroad.
So at Children's Medical Center, I feed babies all day. I work in the NICU right now, the doctors will send me an order and I will go in and evaluate the swallow function of a baby. So they might have a cardiac defect or a respiratory issue that's affecting feeding. So I'll go in and we'll work through positioning, type of bottle, strategies that we can do to assist in oral feeding. I love the ability to be able to help people, whether it's feeding a baby for the first time or watching a mom feed a baby for the first time and being able to assist in that, or teaching a 2-year-old his first word. So I love walking alongside families and kiddos and working on speech and language and feeding. My mom and dad and sister, I have one sister who's a little bit younger than me, they have been absolutely supportive and kind of grew my interest for children with disabilities from an early age. My mom took me to a program at our church where children with disabilities could come and have a night out so their parents could go on a date. And so every Friday night my mom would take me to, it was called Friday Night Friends, and that's where my love for kids with disabilities really started. So my family had a huge part in what I do today. My husband, his name is John. We met in college and he has been one of my biggest supporters throughout this whole thing. He actually went on a trip with me last May and led a group of speech therapists. I think all of the professors at TWU did a great job. I think I could sit in with Alyssa Woods for practicum sites and she would listen and know exactly where I wanted to go and how she could help me with that. I think Dr. Gill and Dr. Liebreth especially were so helpful to me. I was a GA for both of them. I never ever thought that I would travel anywhere. If you told me that I was going to go to Africa, I would have said, no, I'll give you money, you can go to Africa and you report back to me on what happened. One of the girls in the Bible study said, hey, I know a girl at Baylor, she started this program called CLASP and she takes speech therapists to Africa and I think you should go. I took her little flyer and went home and stood up on the computer, waited until the day before the application was due, I think, to travel, and stayed up until midnight filling out this application. And then I clicked send and went, oh dear, like what have I just done? And so I went on my first trip, I guess that was 4 years ago now. And I think just a combination of my passion for speech therapy and the ability to be able to serve in that way was really something that I was supposed to do. When I go to Africa, I do a wide variety of speech therapy. Our main goal is to educate on disabilities, to know that children and adults with disabilities are not a curse and that they have value and worth and that there's something that you can do to help them to be a functional member of society. We're working on self-sustainability there, so creating a graduate level speech therapy program for Zambians so they can be trained in how to work with children and adults with disabilities, specifically in speech-language communication and feeding. There's no way you can keep me away from being involved in CLASP, really establishing a profession in Zambia for speech-language pathology.
Because of her courage, dedication, and pioneering spirit, Texas Woman's University applauds Jennifer Lee and presents her the 2014 Hallmark Alumni Award.